We have a really good audience, I believe. My name is Dean, co-founder and chief growth officer at Quikk API. I am looking forward to this conversation. I look forward to sharing our platform and what it is we're doing. So I will start off by um, going over a bit of our presentation, talk about our platform, what it is we do, what it is we don't do, and what it is we do very, very well. You can hear my screen. Sorry, I hope you can see my screen. I hope you can also hear me. Okay, awesome. So, welcome to Quikk API. Where are we? We are developers in the API, tech, and payments ecosystem. We started off by building the first M-Pesa API back in 2010. Well, our CTO was working at Equity Bank. Then we built a payment gateway called Lepaya back in 2014, and we built a dev shop in 2018. And our experience was always that it was really, really difficult to integrate and manage APIs. So not only from the integration perspective, which is just going out to get the APIs, but also the technical perspective, which is making sure the APIs are working, they're live on your platform, you can receive payments, you can get data, and so on. And then also managing them. So 3 months later, 6 months later, being able to scale APIs. And how do we solve this problem? So we built a developer-first API platform. We make it super easy to integrate fintech APIs, and we add modules on top of APIs like security, recons, plugins, etc. And what we want to do is to make connecting to African APIs easy, affordable, and fast, right? Now, why us? There are 3 key reasons. The first one is you use your own M-Pesa, mobile money, or bank business accounts, right? So you do not have to use our PayBill, have to use our bank accounts, you use your own, right? What this does is that it lowers your cost, it makes it easier to get your money quickly, it makes it easier for you to build a direct business relationship with your customers, right? When it's a different gateway or a different platform, the customer isn't always sure that they're paying into the right account, right? So they significantly prefer to pay directly to the business that they're transacting with. Second one is integration. And integration is essentially around the onboarding support you get and the documentation around it. So we have really close, really personal support with our clients, and we have really good developer documentation. And what that means is that you can integrate with us in days, not months, right? With so many other platforms, it takes weeks, months, it takes forever to even get access to the right people, let alone get started with the integration. And then finally, you can maximize value from APIs, meaning you build less internal tech, right? So you can use our APIs to connect to other add-ons, other tools, and so on, right? Now, there are a lot of current players in the API ecosystem that you are all familiar with. Majority of them are at the bottom. So you have your API providers, your M-Pesa, your Airtel, your MTN, PesaLink, etc. Now, there are essentially 2 ways to get direct access to these providers. One, you can go through an internal platform that the provider offers. For example, with M-Pesa, there's Daraja, or you can go through Quikk, right? And the advantage that you get by going through us is that we are an enterprise API platform, and we are very focused on giving you a very high level of access. Now, most people also access APIs through payment gateways, but what you find is that payment gateways, at the end of the day, still go through a platform like Daraja or a platform like Quikk, right? So you're not getting it direct. There's a high level of visibility that's not there, right? Does not exist. And payment gateways, API platforms generally serve tech companies. So whether it's a bank, whether it's a SaaS company, whether it's a fintech, an e-commerce company, a logistics company, and so on, that is the end company essentially that gets value from the APIs. And the people who use those APIs are usually CTOs, heads of engineering, devs, and finance and ops teams who serve the end customer. The end customer is the person who doesn't even really know what an API is, right? They've never really interacted with APIs. They've never had to. but through the tech company and through the API users, they get value from the APIs, whether it's making a payment, whether it's getting an SMS sent, whether it's getting some additional value delivered, right? Any questions so far before I continue? Right. Too much background noise 10 minutes ago. I hope it should be fine now. I hope you can all hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, just do a thumbs up in the.
So far, so good.
Sorry?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think you can all hear me well. Okay. So product features, I'll take you through our actual platform, not just the screen, but we have a ton of features like logs, really clear docs, multi-team dev setup, developer support, and so on. So why us? A few key things to keep top of mind is that you can bring your own integration. So if you're already connected on, let's say, Daraja or a different platform, and you already have your own pay bill, you already have your own till number, you can transition that integration to us, right? We make that really easy and really clear. We have a really simplified and really standardized API. So to give you an example of what this looks like, as you can see, the API is quite easy to understand. It's very verbose. This is our API, M-Pesa Quikk API in brackets Handaki. And on this other side is the Daraja API. This is the same API request, right? But you notice ours is much simpler, much easier to understand, much easier to rely upon. And what that does is that it makes it really secure and really easy to use. Versus if you take the example of Daraja, it has a ton of unnecessary information, a ton of unnecessary details. It's overdone, it's overwritten, it's over-engineered, right? So to go back up, the second and the final and maybe probably the most important thing to keep top of mind is that we've tested our platform to handle $1 billion in transactions a day, right? So we can move significant volume on our platform. So we've built it for scale, we've built it to handle scale. Now, with regard to M-Pesa, we have a couple of really powerful APIs. One of the rare ones that are fairly difficult to get access to is the B2B API, and we offer that. Of course, there's the traditional ones like the SDK push, which is also USSD push, the normal pay-in transaction where the customer just makes a normal payment. They go to the M-Pesa menu, they enter the amount, they enter the pay bill, and then they make a transaction. We also have that. We also have the B2B API, the B2C API, and so on. As I mentioned, we've processed billions and billions of shillings through our platform for a few interesting companies like Bezesha, Fingo, Tutadu, and so many more. Any questions before I continue?
I do have a question, Dean.
Yes, please ask.
Very first. Is the whole platform is it just an abstraction to what Daraja does, but simpler?
So that's a really good starting point. So yes, it is simpler than Daraja, but where things get interesting is we've built 40 plus add-ons on top of the API. So a lot of tools, a lot of visibility tools, a lot of connection tools. I mean, even this webinar, we are going over Woocommerce. So you're getting a direct integration to Woocommerce through our platform. So we've built a lot of tools on top of the APIs that make your life much easier as a developer or as a tech company. Now, we are not built on top of Daraja. We are connected to the same destination as Daraja, right? So if you notice in our image here, Daraja and Quikk are connected to the M-Pesa core, right? So all Daraja is a dashboard. We've just built a better dashboard, right? A better way to connect to those APIs. And what it means is that a lot of the sacrifices that Daraja made, a lot of the tools and visibility points and functionalities that they removed from the APIs that you get from M-Pesa, we still have access to that, right? So you're getting essentially the best M-Pesa developer experience possible. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. Thank you. Good.
Okay, awesome. I see Lynn in the comments. Let me just jump in. Can this assist with Shopify? So we are working on the Shopify plugin to allow you to connect in the same way as WooCommerce. You need something that can assist you to integrate a courier company's rates for courier services. So just to understand, and maybe Lynn, you can switch on your microphone. You'd like to get the rates from courier companies.
Hi, yes. So they've got two options, or basically three options. The one is where you have to enter your flat rate. And the second option, it gives you the opportunity to be on the absolute highest option of Shopify. And then you have the option to input your rates with the API. So my question would be obviously, will this be something that will simplify the process of me?
I think I got most of that. So you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Your question was, get, are you able to connect to global shipping, if I'm correct?
Yes, it's global, national, and local shipping. So you're able to use all three. But if you don't want to use or be on the highest package of Shopify, you then need to be on a lower package, but then you need to use either flat rates, which I can't because each parcel differs. So I can't put a flat rate for courier services. So I need to use APIs. So in order for me to do that, there's a whole list of things that I obviously need to do on my side. So I'm looking for a simple way to integrate APIs into the Shopify platform, but specifically for the courier services.
Got it. It's not in the call. Okay, so I think so each of the platforms, Shopify and WooCommerce, have different plugins for logistics, shipping, courier services, and so on, right? So it sounds like the best path to a solution might be integrating maybe even multiple or one shopping integrator. I'm sure there are a few on the platform. And what that does is that it allows you to route the order to the cheapest and maybe best shipping option, right? So that would be my best recommendation, figuring out which shipping or logistics aggregators are there on Shopify or WooCommerce and using that. I've read a bit about it. I know there are some aggregators that have hundreds, if not thousands, of shipping plugins and shipping providers and logistics providers and so on. Yeah, so I think just diving into the Shopify plugin ecosystem would help. On our end, we focus primarily on the payments plugins. So M-Pesa specifically, very soon PesaLink and Airtel, to allow you to do that.
Okay, so for example, if I bank with Standard Bank, will this then assist me in order for payments to go directly to Standard Bank, even if they don't have an API that allows that?
So are you trying to receive payments from Kenyans or from non-Kenyans?
Well, we don't know. It's a new business, so it can go anywhere.
The recommendation will be, depending on the type of payments you're receiving, you'd want to integrate a provider that can handle that, right? So we concentrate on M-Pesa, for example. There are some platforms that concentrate on, let's say, European payments or Australian payments or US payments, right? So might I recommend once you do a bit of testing and get a few customers, you'd probably be able to get a sense of who's using your platform more and what to concentrate on and how you can
Okay.
settle into your standard bank account.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. So I don't think there are any other. Oh, sorry, I saw one in the chats about Visa transactions globally. We are currently not processing card payments. You find in Kenya, 95+% of all payments are mobile money payments, but we are working on integrating card payments. So once we have a pathway on that, we'll definitely communicate. Okay, so we're going over the differences between Quick API, payment gateways, and Daraja. So there are a few key big ones, right? The first one is integration time. So with us, we've had clients integrate in 2 days, sometimes even less, right? So you can integrate onto our platform very quickly and very easily, right? With payment gateways, usually it takes about 3 weeks. With the Daraja, it takes 2 months is one of the fastest speeds we've had about. And the main challenge is support, right? So connected to that, just below that is support. So we give a very high level of support. So it's very personal. We have direct relationships with our clients. We pick up their calls, we respond to their emails, we know subgroups together, and we try to provide a very high level of support. So anytime there's an issue, there's some clarity that's needed, etc., we're able to be super helpful versus gateways and Daraja usually offer a much lower level of support. And what that does is that it makes it much harder to serve your customers, right? It makes it harder to offer customer service. It makes it harder to give your customers clarity. It makes it harder to complete payments and so on. Now, our pricing, we charge 0.3%, but what's most critical about us is that we help you pay as little as possible to API providers like M-Pesa, Airtel, and banks, right? Versus most other solutions, whether it's payment gateway or Daraja, you generally pay a high fee, but just as critical, you pay very high provider fees, right? So you're paying a high, let's say 1% to 3%, and you're sometimes paying really high provider fees, which is really heavy on a business's margins. It's harder to generate a profit. It's harder to generate and build a sustainable business. Some other big pluses also are speed. So we are really fast. I mean, the company is called Quikk, right? So if it wasn't fast, it would be very disappointing. We have a lot of add-ons on top of our platform that we'll go over just now. We have a really high benchmark TPS, and you can settle your cash in real time through us. Any questions on this before I proceed? Okay, so let's talk a bit about our pricing. So as I mentioned, we charge low to zero fees from the API provider. So we help you pay as little as possible to the API provider. Our charge is 0.3% per transaction. So really low, lower than most gateways. We're really the lowest platform out there. And then finally, we do have enterprise volume discount. So if you have significant volume, usually in the millions of shillings a month, it's quite easy for us to give you a steep and fairly healthy discount. So let's talk about add-ons. So why use our add-ons? So one, you can get to market really fast. So you can launch and release new products in hours, not months. We've had clients use our add-ons, release a new product, a new feature, a new customer flow very, very quickly. Two, you build less tech and your devs are less stressed, which is really, really key. When you're testing out new products, new services, you don't want to disappear for 2 months, 3 months, trying to build a feature that you're not sure your customers will use, right, or love. So you can use our add-ons to figure out, okay, what does this feature do? What does it allow you to do? And can you extend that to your customers really, really quickly? And then finally, our tech is really reliable. So we already tested and used at scale to move billions of shillings. So you know our add-ons, our platform can be used with almost any use case. And we have a couple of use cases to go over today. So the first one is an insurtech. So we've had a few insurtechs reach out to us, and we're working with some of them to power their payments. Now, what this section is supposed to show is the different ways you can use Quikk API to power your business, right? So you can see at the top row, for example, there's Africa Stocking, there's Quikk API, our platform, there's Google Sheets through our platform, through Quikk, and there's also Quikk API again, right? Sorry, question in the chat. Let me just stop. with regards to the volume discounts, does it count if you are an integration partner like a web dev agency? We do have a separate structure for web dev agencies for integration partners. So George, let me post my details in the chat and then we can have an email conversation later. Is that okay? You can just do. Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So if you look at the customer flow, so the average customer has their phone, they want to pay for the insurance, right? So they go to a USSD menu, let's say powered by Africa Stocking through our platform. We have an add-on coming out soon. They can take advantage of M-Pesa recons to make sure that the payment is successful. That's an add-on that also exists on our platform. That payment can be sent to Google Sheets so that you can reconcile. It can also be sent to almost any other system that you use, whether Excel, whether another payments dashboard, and so on, right? That's really easy to integrate using our API. And then you can use our Echo add-on to notify multiple different partners. So in this case, whether it's a stage manager, whether it's a SACCO, whether it's a Matatu owner, whether it's AAR, the actual insurance company that's putting up the money, we give you significant ability to notify your partners, right? And what this full flow is supposed to show is the full scale of tools and add-ons and functionalities that you're building to make it easy for you. So if you go through the category section, there's the user flow, which is the onboarding flow, which is USSD. There's the payment layer, which is M-Pesa, for example. There's the recons layer, which we also provide. There's the notification layer, which we also provide. And then we're also building out a commissions system so that it's easier to pay out commissions to your customers. And what this has allowed our current customers to do is, again, you build much faster, you build much cheaper, you build faster, you get to market faster, you build less tech, so generally much cheaper, and you have a really reliable tech, right? Any questions so far? Okay, so I'll just quickly jump into the marketplace flow. It's fairly similar to the InsurTech flow, but with a few interesting differences. One, the type of organizations that need notifications. So maybe you have a distributor who gave you product on credit. Maybe you have a sales or promotions team that earns a commission or earns some payment. And then, of course, there's your account, right? And with the add-ons you can use here, the only difference really is, let's say, a platform like Woocommerce or your own website or your own service that you've built yourself, right? Of course, the other add-ons are, let's say, M-Pesa Recons, Google Sheets, Echo, Guard, and so on. Okay. Now, I will jump off and go to our demo as Harun asks a question. Harun?
I might have missed at some point, Dean, I might have missed something, and you could correct me.
No worries.
So when it comes to cost, is there a sign up fee or do you charge based on, is it just transaction based?
So we do not charge a sign-up fee. It is only transaction-based.
All right. Thanks.
Would you like to pay a sign-up fee?
I'd be very surprised if I had to.
Yeah, we do not charge a sign-up fee. Okay, so we can go over our dashboard. So this is our home page. Now, as you can tell, this is a live dashboard. I use this especially for demos and tests and playing around with the one bobs. As you know, a lot of test accounts survive on 1 shilling, right? So you can see some requests, some failed, some successful. You can see request status here. And you can, of course, filter this depending on the time frame, right? Now, if we go to the apps page, so for most of you to get you started, let me paste our website in the chat, and then I'll also take you through how to create an account, right? Just realized I'm taking you guys deep into the lion's den without giving you ample introduction.
So yeah, this is our website. I've already pasted it on the chat, so you can create an account. You can also scroll to learn a bit more about us. Now, next step is create a free account, fairly straightforward. There we go. Now, as you can tell, I'm already logged in, so I'll just go directly to dashboard. But for you guys, you can just create an account fairly quickly, and you should be good to go. If you have any issues, please post them in the chat, and we shall try to help. Okay, we're back to the dashboard. So most of you will get a prompt to create an app. So how you create an app is you go to the app section, you click create a new app. So this is just a normal test app. So let's say test app for, I think I saw someone called Brian. So let me just call it Brian. I'm going to call this testing payments, right? You come here to the API services and you select the APIs you'd like to integrate. So in my case, I'd like to integrate, let's say the charge API. So this is the SDK push, a few of these. You can select as many as you'd like. You can even select all of them. There you go. You can also select Pesalink apps, but I won't select them for this demo. There we go. So now you have your M-Pesa APIs. So allow me to shift to one of my live apps so that you guys can get a full view into how to use our platform. So come here to the configuration section. So this is one of my live APIs. You enter your shortcode number, you enter your callback URL, etc. Now, for you guys, I'd just recommend setting up a sandbox app, right? Yeah, because you currently do not have a live configured shortcode on our platform. Then you come to the key section. So this is a sample one that I created some time back to test Woocommerce. Now, most of what I was speaking about earlier was add-ons, right? So you come to our add-on section and you can see some of the add-ons that you can take advantage of to increase the functionality of your app, right? A key one to talk about is M-Pesa Recons. So just to quickly show you, and this is already configured. So I'll just go back to the add-ons page. Let me take, yeah, let me take this Echo add-on. So to take you through the configuration, so let's say you're a company called Trade Plus and you want to forward SMSs to another callback URL. So as you saw initially, we already had a callback URL configured. So this is for the secondary callback URL. And the value here is for the recipient number. So this is the account number on your pay bill. And you're able to forward any transactions that fulfill these rules to your callback URL, right? Now, we'll quickly jump back to what you guys came here for, which is the Woocommerce add-on. So I will start off by sharing a link to our Woocommerce store for you guys to just make a payment on. Hope you've all received the link. So once you go to, this is our test store. We have a very beautiful vase here. You can buy, let's say 2 or 3 amounts of the product, and then you can add to cart, right? Once you add to cart, it pops up here. So as you can tell, this is on WordPress, right? This is on WooCommerce. Just to show you guys. Yeah, so this is on WordPress, right? Yes. Yes. There we go. Okay, so I have a couple of products. Let's do 5, for example. Just refreshed. So if I go to checkout, it's going to ask me for my details. So I'll just make sure that my phone number is here. I'll make sure also it's 254. It's going to be 5 shillings. I can enter my details here again, or it will just populate from the ones, my phone number above, and I place my order. Then I pull out my phone, and I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I got the uh, STK push to pay, right? I hope you guys saw that. So all I need to do is to enter my M-Pesa PIN, and voila, I have paid. Now, to get visibility on this transaction, I can come to my orders page. So you can see we were testing and we completed a couple of transactions. We were doing our tests. Some of them failed. We understood why. So if I just refresh, I should see my transaction here. Yes, it is on hold. It is being confirmed. And then to get even more visibility, you can see here's my transaction. This is my callback for those who are familiar with callbacks. So this is what I use to essentially complete the order, and also what Woocommerce uses, right? We refresh again. Transaction will be processing shortly. Usually takes a couple of seconds.
Just as it's processing, is there a reason why it's on hold? Is there a reason why?
WordPress. So WordPress is still managing the order, right? So it's taking the callback from M-Pesa and collecting that and completing.
All right. So until you confirm the order, it's going to be on hold.
Yes. So once you come here, it's going to be. Let me just make sure that I could have entered the wrong M-Pesa PIN, and here I am. There we go. It was successful.
All right. Thank you.
Go back. There we go. So it is now processing, right?
Yeah, I've seen it now.
Yeah. And then what this means is that the payment is successful, right? If you're all familiar with WordPress and WooCommerce, for a transaction to be completed, generally it means the order has to be fulfilled, meaning the customer has received the order. So if the customer, sorry, I keep clicking. Let me just click this order and okay. Yeah. So if you're familiar with WooCommerce and WordPress, to complete an order, the admin usually either the customer confirms that they've received the order, in which case it's updated automatically, or the admin confirms that the order was completed, right? So what that usually means is coming to a section like this and saying completed, right? And now the order has been completed, right? So that's one of the ways to complete an order. But essentially, when you get a transaction processing, you see the beautiful green color. It means the transaction has been completed and you have your M-Pesa ID, right? Of course, on your Quikk dashboard, and one of the reasons people use Quikk is you have your log section, right? So you have additional visibility over the transaction. So this is the transaction I made a couple of minutes back. These are the headers of the response, and here's the callback, right? So you see, confirmed, transaction confirmed essentially. And you can come to your section and start processing it and complete it even. And I know it looks very easy. It is very easy. All it takes is setting up on our side. If I go to the settings of our WooCommerce store on payments, we do have just a second. We do have our quick payment plugin here. Accept M-Pesa payments for your store. If you come to manage, then you enter your M-Pesa pay bill here. These other details, you can leave them as is. The key and secret you get from our dashboard. Here's the key section. You can get a new key. Let me say test key. Let's say this is David, right? So you come here, you generate a key. Here's a key, here's your secret that you enter onto this section. So fairly straightforward. You can also edit the reference prefix, which is the account number, and you are essentially golden. So you can start receiving WooCommerce payments on your M-Pesa pay bill as soon as you're configured, right? Because we already have the add-on, it's already done, it's already live. Any questions? Mm, mm. Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of really beautiful emojis. I love it. Any questions? You guys are making me feel like a very good teacher. Like I should get a raise. Like I should be teacher of the year.
Today you'll be okay. Don't worry. We all understand.
Why today? Why specifying today?
Okay.
Even on other days will be okay.
I've never met you, so I don't know about the other days, but today is-
I get you. I get you. I get you. I had promised to send George my um, email in the chat, and this is also for you guys. What I will also do is share um, next steps for you guys. So I'm sure you'd all like to meet up and have a follow-up conversation and ask more questions, maybe even privately. So what I'll do is on the chat, I'll share links to setting up a demo with me or a meeting with me or the rest of our team, getting visibility into how our platform works. There you go. Thanks, John. I also can't wait for you to test it out.
um again, just a quick question here.
Yes, Aaron?
Let me understand, how do you handle security? And you never brought that up. Or how do you handle security in a very in terms of my pin and the SDK and everything? How do you handle all that?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So when you say SDK, you mean your M-Pesa PIN and so on, right?
Yeah, and so on. Do you record that somewhere? How do you do that?
So anyone who has API access to M-Pesa has a limited amount of data that they get from M-Pesa, right? So for example, this is the data that I've gotten from M-Pesa and from Quikk on this successful transaction. I hope you can
Correct.
see my screen, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so I do not have my own M-Pesa PIN, right?
All right.
It's hidden here, right? I don't have visibility into customer um, let me say secured details like the M-Pesa PIN and so on. So that's standard. It's not even a Quikk API thing. It's an M-Pesa or API provider thing.
All right.
Um,
And just to add on top of that, so your
yeah.
dashboard, but your dashboard has my M-Pesa history for as long as I have transacted with you.
For you as the customer or you as the client?
Myself as the client, as the customer, or myself as the customer in this case.
Okay. Yeah. So each company essentially has their own privacy policy and relationship with the business that they're buying from. So that's essentially layer one, right? So I know, for example, if I go to Naivas, that I have accepted to pay to Naivas, right? So they will have my phone number, for example, to confirm the transaction. So that's layer one.
Right. Oh, got it. Got it.
Then layer two is we are a licensed data processor, right? So we are licensed by the government to process data through our systems, right? And specifically financial data, right? So data, yes, can be processed through us securely. in compliance with government regulation and etc. And the third, we are a Safaricom partner, right? So we've partnered with Safaricom to offer their APIs through our platform. And as I've shown you, we also have other APIs like PesaLink and Airtel coming very soon. So you essentially have multiple layers of security. And then specifically for you guys as devs, as tech companies and etc., you have really secure key access. So keys are essentially the pin to your APIs, right? And the mistake a lot of platforms have is that they force you to use one key basically forever, right? But we don't do that. So you have the ability to create new keys, test new keys, etc. So let me create this key, for example, test keys. This is created by Dean, right? Once I request this key, here it is. Now I can come here and delete previous keys. So let's say I don't use this key anymore. I just delete it and voila, it's gone. So I also have significant control and security on top of our APIs, right? Does that help, Harun?
Yes, I've gotten that. On the topic of security here, do you have access levels, ACL management, for example? So can anybody log into the dashboard and see the same dashboard everybody, or do you have access levels?
Yes, so we are releasing, I think we should be done, remind me, in a couple of weeks. I know before the end of April, we should be done with access management for multiple team members on the same dashboard. Right now, we are mostly used by CTOs, right? So CTOs usually have the account and they share keys
Oh,
and access to the devs, right? So, yeah, but that's something we are building out and we're really excited to roll out.
oh, good. Nimeelewa.
Okay, awesome. I also do want to mention that if someone did get access to your APIs and your dashboard, this secret is single issue, meaning that once I close this button, the secret is gone forever, right? So if I click here, get secret, you cannot get the secret, basically. So I have to get a new key. And just to show you in a bit of a slower flow, so test access, let me say Dean. And then I request my key. You can see the warnings and the communications we keep giving you, right? Click on get secret button and make sure in capital letters you copy your key and secret somewhere safe, right? So what that means is that if you happen to give someone access to your dashboard, they do not have access to your key or your secret, right? So if I click get secret here, again, you get another really strong warning sign, which is HMRK and secret are displayed. Please note your secret cannot be retrieved once you close this dialog box, right? Store your secret in a safe place. Once your secret is lost, you'll have to create a new API key, right? So the minute I click this close button, the secret is gone forever. I can never access it. Even we can't access it, right? And that means that your APIs are really, really secure. Of course, don't go out and give your secret to anyone once you get it from the dashboard.
You're talking
Of
to
course.
developer. You're talking to developers, so I don't think I'm going to be changing my key every day.
I mean, every so often it helps, I think, to have that level of functionality. So some of our clients, maybe they roll out a new API, or maybe they add a new dev to the team, they give that dev their own key, and so on and so forth. So there are many scenarios where you might want to have the ability to change your keys, right? You might make a mistake, push something to production, the keys happen to be there,
Oh,
and
so
then yeah,
push with my secrets.
yeah, there are people who do that. I'm sure you've seen that. Right? Where someone says, "Oh my God, I pushed my, let's say, Daraja secret to production. What do I do?" Right? And everyone says, "Oh my God, how could you even do that?" Right? So it's a common, easy mistake to make, and it's unfortunate if you don't have the ability to roll it back, right? And that's what you're giving. And there are many scenarios where you want to be able to deactivate your key, delete your key, and so on, right? The biggest thing we try to do is to give developers the tools, right? We're giving you the tools, the functionality, the features, and
Understood.
we've seen our clients use them in really interesting ways.
Understood. Understood.
And one of the really cool security tools I'd like to show you guys just right now is a whitelist add-on. So to allow you to whitelist the people receiving payments from your organization, right? Oh, I already have a whitelist add-on. Apologies for that. Let me go to the add-on section. Uh, let's see. Here we go. So let's go to John Boda blacklist, right? So this is a blacklist for let's change the name of this app. Does anyone have an app name for some Boda guys that like to blacklist? Let's say Madare. Not saying Madare Bodas have anything wrong, but maybe you want to blacklist Madare Boda Bodas, right? And
Anything in the dark web.
so let's say they normally use Equity Bank, right? And you don't want them to receive payments from your organization. So what do? You come to the recipient field. The recipient field is the pay bill field, right? And you enter Equity's pay bill. So as we all know, Equity's pay bill is 247247, right? So you enter the pay bill there. Let me just enter it again for dramatic purposes. 247247. And then now I enter the actual account numbers of the border guys I would like to blacklist. And specifically, I'm putting this in the deny list, right? So recipient deny, reference deny, right? So the numbers might be 78878994. Then maybe another guy has 564789, and another guy has 12321, comma. Another one has 564378, etc. etc. You get the point, right? And once you click configure, you've basically blacklisted these guys from receiving payments from your
So you
API.
you have a very well maintained blacklist list, or white for that matter.
Exactly. And you can continue building more and you can continue adding more, right? So we've had our clients use this in many interesting ways, sometimes to blacklist betting companies, to blacklist crypto companies, to blacklist people who've committed fraud on their systems before. Maybe there's always that one customer who always tries to, figure out a way to put in a fake pin and see if they'll receive money, right? Or they try to play around your waitlist system or your affiliate system or your referral system to get free money, right? And you're just tired of fighting that customer, so you just blacklist them, right?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So again, this is another feature that you can use in so many different ways.
Nice feature to bring up. Actually, that is actually something that is very important. Thank you for bringing it up.
Awesome. Happy that you might enjoy using it really soon. Okay. Any other questions? So as I mentioned, I've already shared the link to book a demo. So if you'd like to go deeper, if you have really private and personal questions you don't go over now, you can book the demo. I've put the link in the chat. You can join our community on WhatsApp. So we have a really nice community, about 150 people, generally really quiet. Most people only really comment when they have a question. We try not to do spam. We try not to do memes and other non-API conversations. It's really, really focused on helping devs who are using our APIs. Of course, our website is also in the chat. So if you'd like to create an account, play around with the APIs, you can do that. And then if you have any questions, there's our email in the chat.
Thank you, Dean. I have joined the chat hoping that you're not going to be sending me Christmas messages.
You're saying you do not want any Christmas message ever?
Ever.
Okay. I hear you loud and clear, loud and clear. Thank you, Rashid.
So,
I do have a question for everyone. Sorry, Harun, before you continue.
No, go ahead, Dean. I just wanted to thank you in terms of instead of typing it.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Thank you. Do you guys have any add-ons, any platforms, any tools you would like us to build? Any APIs? Like, for example, we've seen a request around Shopify. That's something we're thinking about. We've seen a few requests around Africa stocking. Um, oh, Keith, you have one?
Yeah, I was thinking, because I'm not in Kenya right now, so it's like, what about something like on Amazon? For instance, I don't know if people usually order things from Amazon, because when I was in Kenya, there was this guy who asked me if there's any way to ship anything to Kenya. So that's logistics, that's something different. But I just thought, what if they're able to pay with M-Pesa instead of using a card or I don't know, going through the bank? So I don't know if that's in your realm of what you're intending to also achieve.
So just to understand the flow, so I'm a Kenyan customer. I want to order something on Amazon, um, and get it delivered to me, right?
Yes. Well, I'm not talking about the delivery. I'm talking about payment. So, for instance, if because I'm not because you said we're building it for like a Kenyan market, right? So, what if I don't have like a Visa or Mastercard to pay on Amazon? Because Amazon and Visa will take credit cards.
Yeah.
So, is there a way maybe in the future to look into like maybe putting it on Amazon? So, if I'm in Kenya, I can at least pay for the item through M-Pesa or through Airtel Money, through any Kenyan payment system. Then I walk out the delivery is something different, but because you're dealing with payments, you're not dealing with let's say delivery. So the payment bit of it. So is that something you maybe looking into?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we do have a few conversations ongoing with, let me say, big tech, including some of those large e-commerce platforms. Allow me to be a bit mysterious around it, but yes, it's something that we are looking forward to powering really soon. Because we are now getting onto some of these platforms like Woocommerce, Shopify, and a few others, Magneto, and so on, we'd be able to make it easier for them to receive, for Kenyans to pay into those businesses, right? So yes, it's something that we have in our pipeline. Harun, you had a question?
Yes, I do. In terms of what is your level of integration with our core banking systems?
That's a good question. So we've had some clients integrate our APIs into their core banking systems. For most of them, it's as a result of wanting to have a very high level of functionality on top of the core banking system, right?
Yeah.
So we've already done that before. It's worked quite well. Most core banking systems tend to be a bit old school, but a good portion of them can handle APIs, right? So it's fairly easy, I'd say, to integrate core banking systems using our APIs.
Got it. So you don't have a problem with things like end of day and whatever things that banks do.
No, we don't. And in fact, we have, I think we went over in the add-ons and the InsurTech flow. We also have some additional tools to power that. So whether it's a reconciliation, let's say end of day reconciliation and etc., you can use our API, you can use balance checkers, search APIs, figuring out end of day balances and etc. using our platform. It's fairly easy.
Sawa sawa.
Okay, awesome. Um, Any other questions? Oh yes, I had asked you all which add-ons, which APIs you'd like to integrate. I see Franklin has mentioned Teams. Thanks, Franklin. I'll add that to our notes. Any other APIs, any other add-ons, any other tools you'd like to integrate?
How good are you with Slack? I don't know why I asked that, but again, as a developer, how
Mhm.
good is the Slack integration?
We do want to release some notification tools, so like alerts for how your APIs are doing, successful transactions, and so on. So that will include Slack. So yes, coming soon.
Yeah. It's a coming soon.
Yes. It's currently a coming soon.
Okay.
Yeah. We've seen some of our clients just manually integrate it themselves, but we also want to run that functionality. So if you want to integrate it right now, you can, right? It's really just throwing a simple wrapper around our API and sending that to Slack. Okay.
And maybe finally, and this is a very weird question, but because as a developer, I'm paid to actually ask weird questions. Your AI integration and blockchain integration, how is it?
So most people use AI and blockchain to power payments. So it's really just using our API, integrating it to your app, and sending us a prompt if your customer wants to make a payment, right? So whether that's
I think I'm headed towards somewhere.
okay.
But for example,
Mhm.
something like fraud detection.
Okay.
Do you have anything towards it?
Oh, yes, a good question. Yes, so around our monitoring tools, we already have a bit of ML to detect fraudulent transactions on your APIs. So if you keep getting, for example, the same customer pinging your M-Pesa shortcode or your API multiple times, we're able to alert you. And even better, because we're building now on some really interesting systems like Woocommerce and Shopify, they natively have that, right? So if you see multiple orders with the same details and etc., you're able to get that detected. And then also on our side, we have a few AI. We like calling it ML because it's actually machine learning, but
I'm hoping it's not if else statements.
sorry?
Is it if else statements or actual AI?
No, I mean, we started off with ML. The advances in AI allowed us to extend that further so that it's actual AI, right? So that you're able to get actual useful data. And then again, because depending on the platforms you're using, if you're using a tool like WooCommerce, WooCommerce has a lot of really interesting tools around fraud monitoring.
All right, right. Understood.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
Okay, awesome. Any additional questions? Oh, I see, Rashid. How does Quikk API facilitate seamless integration with various add-ons? And what benefits does this integration offer to businesses seeking to enhance their operational efficiency? Fantastic question. So, facilitating seamless integration. So, as I've shown you, integrating tools on our platform is very fast and very easy, right? So, we've had clients essentially have the freedom to integrate tools and functionality themselves, right? Versus most other platforms, you actually have to sit down, set up a meeting with someone, go over it, and etc. With our platform, you can set it up yourself, right? So it's proper self-serve. And it allows you to customize as you go. So if there's an additional use case, there's an additional functionality you'd like to power using one of our add-ons, you can just set that up yourself. What we do on our side is we give you the information and the instructions on how to do it best, right? And what that does is that, again, you have a lot of freedom as a developer. A lot of the tools, a lot of the functionality we are building is to give freedom to the developer, right? And then second, what integration offer to businesses seeking to enhance their operational efficiency. So the biggest one is you do not have to build out a lot of functionality yourself, right? So I've shown you the guard add-on, I've shown you the echo add-on. We also have the M-Pesa recons and so on. We are essentially making it really easy for you to build software, right? You don't have to rebuild software that we've built, for example. You can use it right out of the box, and it's really scalable, really efficient, already integrated, and so on, right? So that's key step one. We've seen clients, instead of taking 2 months to build a feature, they just use our add-on and roll out a feature in 2 days, 3 days, right? So it's really, really easy to launch new products using our solution. So instead of spending hundreds of thousands of shillings trying to build out an add-on, devs are stressed, product managers are stressed, CTOs are stressed, etc., etc. You can just use one of our add-ons. Rabbit asks, what's our open source strategy, and can you publish integrations to a central community? So this is something we've been working on for quite a while to make it easy for devs to build add-ons on top of our tech. We should have, I can definitely say we'll have a few announcements this year. We don't yet have a date to announce, but we're already making progress on how to build tools on top of our APIs and on top of our platform. So that's something we are really excited about. We are really excited to make it easy for devs to build on top of our solution and to maybe even generate some revenue from that. So really looking forward to that. It's something me and Kariuki, my co-founder, are really excited about. We also want to make sure we do it the right way.
Dean, what is your what is your on-premise strategy?
On premise is always an exciting conversation. In the cloud is really powerful, but tends to be a bit bloated, and especially for emerging markets, sometimes not very easy to use, sometimes a bit expensive. Our short-term strategy is we are currently using the cloud with um, a lot of really cool functionality. We are seeing a lot of those cloud providers coming into the market, making it even less interesting to do on premise. We have some tools, some add-ons, some functionalities we think on premise will power really, really well. So we'll likely do a hybrid approach, a bit of on premise and a bit of cloud.
And I think just to add on top of that question
Mhm.
or suggestion, if I could put it that way, in terms of, for example, myself having my own VPN connected to you, and almost like having customized dashboard. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can essentially VPN connect to us. We've already VPN connected to the API providers. So we've VPN connected to M-Pesa, PesaLink, and so on, right? You can decide to add another layer, or you can use it as
Yeah.
is. You have complete freedom.
So for example, if I want to view my dashboard, I don't want it to be publicly viewed. I want it to be seen it by me.
Mhm. You mean your Quikk API dashboard?
Yeah.
That's an
No,
interesting functionality. Sorry, yes, continue.
no. Exactly what you're thinking about. That is what I was suggesting.
Okay, so you'd like to VPN protect your own dashboard.
Yeah, protect
So
my own
instead,
dashboard.
So instead of building your dashboard, you use
I,
our
I,
dashboard but
I, con-
VPN.
I connect to Quikk, but not on the public net.
Okay, first of all, it's already VPN connected. Let me just start there. So yeah,
On your back end it is.
yes. You want it essentially VPN. You want another layer for you to access our public website and our
Yes.
public
So
dashboard.
instead of myself as Harun
Mhm.
logging in as going to the public net and logging in,
Yeah,
I log in as Harun
yeah,
with a certain IP that is only dedicated to me. And
yeah. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. There are essentially two ways, right? You can set that up yourself, especially with how you log in and create an account, and then we can also help you extend that and make sure that is stable, right? So yeah, definitely. Let's do an email thread. Let's figure out how to do that.
All right. I'll follow up with that. I'm serious.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking these questions is because I'm interested
Okay. No worries.
in my
Awesome.
own way.
Okay. Awesome. Um, Yeah, Rabbit, I hope I answered your question. I hope that was useful. Any other questions? We are coming close to the end. So in case any of you would like to drop off, I'm super happy to follow up later, continue our conversations later. If you'd like to have a chat with me, I already see a few people who've booked a demo. Looking forward to that. Yeah, if you'd like to book a chat, if you'd like to have a conversation, do reach out. And yeah, looking forward to helping you guys power really reliable, really scalable payments. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Franklin. Franklin, good to see you again. Thanks, Hilary. Thanks, Rashid. Thanks, Aaron. Let me also send a few of my own.
Are you just testing them out now?
No, yeah, I'm playing around with them. I think I see Karaoke has a question. Maybe he was looking for a, oh yes, he was looking for an emoji. Uh, Change my skin color. That's a bit too much fun.
I think,
Any final questions? Yes, Harun?
I think you're just overdoing it now.
Yeah, I'm really overdoing it.
But really, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I'm going to leave now that there's nothing else to say, but I'll follow up. I know I will follow up.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for making time and looking forward to chatting further.
Thanks. Cheers.
Bye bye. Cheers. Bye bye. That was easy. Mm. Mlilala. Huh? I mean, from the user side, that was easy. From the customer side, that was easy.